Lusanda was just 17 when she fell pregnant. It was a lot. Abusive partner, failed matrix, but the worst was her mother's reaction.
No, this is not me.
When she fell pregnant with her second baby, she still couldn't tell her parents. Her family couldn't stand that he was Nigerian. Little did she know that it wasn't the biggest challenge awaiting her.
I don't think we're gonna wake up with him. I remember he was in pains. I could not even touch him like this.
Her partner never got to meet his son, and Lusanda was restrained from saying her last goodbyes to him.
He stayed here in the morgue for close to 6 months. I think after a month or two, he got buried to that side.
How did this all happen?
When I was 17, I was in grade 11. I was in a relationship. We were high school sweethearts, and it was a good relationship, I'm not gonna lie. It's just, it got a bit toxic as time went by, and I knew that this is not someone I want to spend the rest of my life with. And I was scared to let go because of my daddy issues, but my biggest mistake was that I thought maybe I would find my father in him, but he can never be my father. Me being scared is what kept the relationship going. It looks like I fell pregnant in July, just after my matric times. I kept on denying it, and I remember there was a time being sat on my bed and pretend as if I'm on my period. On the 31st of December, my late aunt, she was like, oh, me too. I'm like, no. So then I had a total meltdown. Like I started crying. And I remember on the first, she said to me, if you don't tell me the truth, I'm going to kick you out of my house. I have nobody to go to. I was like, I think so. That was my response. She took me to the doctor. Doctor said, hey, Lomutulo is 6 months. My mom is very, very strict. Like, besides the strict part of it, my mom screams. I was scared, but when I was going to Timberin, she got me a gynae, I got a midwife. During my pregnancy with my partner, it wasn't the best. He got more and more toxic, and I decided for my peace and sanity, I'm gonna exclude him on a lot of things, and that made us clash a lot. He would insult me. Believe me, I mean insult to a point where parents had to be involved because it just got very hectic and it was getting very abusive. And I remember when me and my gynae with my mom had decided on a date that I'm going to give birth, I made specific instructions that I do not want him there. I did think about the abortion during my pregnancy because I felt like now I'm adding another mouth to my mom's pocket. At some point, I even thought maybe I should, after giving birth, then give the baby away for adoption. How me and Nelson met is actually funny. I had just broken up with an ex. He was my nail tech. And from then we clicked. Following day, we just jumped into a relationship. I don't know how, but we were there. And since then, my second pregnancy was a wild one. So I decided, let me go to my GP. And she was like, do you mind peeing for me? She asked, when was your last period? And I was like, I don't know. And then she checked for glucose and everything. When she put the pregnancy test in the pee, she said, congratulations, Pio, you're pregnant. I was like, huh? No. I was in denial. I think we did like so many of them. And I was like, no, this is not me. The days passed. We then decided to have a braai here. I have a braai. For some reason, I don't feel well. I end up in the ER. They ask me, are you pregnant? I tell them, so they say, apparently I'm not sure. So the doctor says, you cannot not be sure. It's either you're pregnant or you're... And I said, so you are definitely pregnant. I get discharged. You could see my mom's eager to know what's really going on with me. So, neck, and my mom kept on, I was like, no, it's just stress. I then made a big mistake asking my mom, please make an appointment with this doctor for me. This doctor then tells my mom, your daughter's pregnant, didn't she tell you? After I got out of hospital, my late partner fell ill. He was in and out of hospital. Since then, we were always together. Whenever you would see me, you'd see him. Whenever you'd see him, you'd see me. But one thing I can tell you is that man loved me. I remember my uncle called on my birthday, Yamshan. And I said, hello, Malum. Yeah, bring it to happy birthday. We're going to post on the Nigeria. But when he saw how Nelson treated me and how Nelson treated my son, my mom then grew on him. Like, my mom started loving him. And because he didn't have a family here, so Nelson was like my mom's son at some point. For my mom to say, bring him home so that we can help you take care of him, that meant a lot, because it's not all parents that do that. And it was hard. I did it anyways, because whenever I was sick, he would always come to hospital without a doubt. Yes, I did know his family members. We grew more closer with the sister when he was sick, when I was taking care of him. Since then, I now have a sister, I guess. Now I was taking care of him. When he died, that was our anniversary month. That would have been 1 year. That day, so the night before, I spoke to the sister and I said, I don't think he's going to make it out alive. I was honest with the sister, and yeah, she didn't take it well. And I said, I don't think we're going to wake up with him. I remember he was in pains. I could not even touch him like this. She could see there was no life in him. He was actively dying. He started not being able to keep food down. So whenever he would eat, he would vomit. On the 9th, I had a appointment. We were supposed to go together. I thought maybe he would have been better. And I said, Nelson, I don't think when I come back you'll still be alive. But I am hurt. You've hurt me. And he said, baby, I'm sorry. It's like he knew that he was gonna die, because one day he asked me, baby, what is it that you need for the baby? And I said, gadgets. He gave me money. I bought a lot of things. I said to him, if you survive, I'm gonna take you to a hospice. I told him, I love you. And I guess those were my last words to him. Unfortunately, he passed on. I wanted it to be something where I'm just gonna wake up from a bad nightmare and he'll say, no, baby, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, The burial part was the hardest part of all of it, because his wish was never granted. His wish was to be buried in South Africa so that his son can always go to his grave and know where he is buried. But clearly, because of customs, they wanted their body. His body had to go back to Nigeria. I think he stayed here in the morgue for close to 6 months, and he left after 6 months, and I think after a month or two he got buried that side. When I told them about his wish, they didn't really care, I think, because they wanted to grant the father's wish, because the father was mostly the one that wanted him to come back home. But I don't think it was the customs really that mattered, because countless times they did say that, no, daddy wants him to be buried, and time again they would tell the dad, no, he's coming this month, just so that he doesn't stress. For me, that was trauma in itself, because by the time the body left, I think my son was 2 months. I had long given birth, and it was quite a traumatic experience. At some point, I felt like my life has just got stuck. We had so many plans for the babies, because he loved my first son like his own. My son knows him to be his father. So he, till this day, he does ask, Mommy, when is daddy going to come back from heaven? There's a lot of things that I let go. Me and the family still do keep contact. One, because I don't have a choice. but we have a great relationship, especially with the sister. The dad does call, but because of language barrier, and our calls only last for like 2 minutes maximum. Unfortunately, me and the family have not met physically. We had planned to go to Nigeria in December last year, December, but then he was gone. But I do plan on going. I think when my son is 2, so that I see where he was buried, and his son also sees where he was buried and meets his paternal side of the family. With his death, I lost a lot. So for the longest of times, I was very depressed throughout the whole year. Only now I'm trying to get out of my shell